So here we are running around the Bahamas trying to find SBF to ask him how exactly did he manage to lose $8 billion worth of customers' money. But the real story here is really about how did this all happen in the first place? And the blame lies fairly and squarely on the shoulders of the venture capitalists in Silicon Valley who lent him the money in the first place or funded him in the first place. Sequoia, Temasek, the sovereign wealth fund of Singapore, SoftBank. Where were the adults in the room when Sam was asking for money to start the FTX exchange and Alameda? Sam is a kid. He's 30 years old, and he may be very, very smart. But listen, he's a kid. And so what's going to come out of this? Is the SEC even bothered? Well, of course, we've got lots of so-called influencers running down here trying to find SBF, mainly trying to get views on their YouTube channel and not really exposing any information of any interest to investors. So here's my take on this. The overall loss could be around $10 billion. And although that seems like a lot of money, in the grand scheme of things, it is not. The SEC are not in the slightest bit interest in the investors, the institutional investors that have lost money through FTX and whatever Sam did with commingling funds, because they are far more involved and under the direction of the Biden administration, which sole game at the moment and their most frantic efforts are all involved around creating a US dollar central bank digital currency. And the frenetic pay is due to the fact that everyone else in the world is ahead of the US, and in particular China. China already has its digital currency up and running and being forced upon the populace as we speak. And of course, everybody's worried about the surveillance of the government and how they're going to control spending if you all switch to digital currency. Now, the thing about this is it's coming. You can't stop it. But what we can do is try to join the discussions about the framework around how these digital currencies are going to work. China, well, they don't have that choice. They have a centralized government, which is dictating how that is all happening. In the US, we have the Constitution, and the First Amendment guarantees free speech. The Fourth Amendment guarantees privacy. And those principles have to be applied to any central bank digital currency. Unlike when you are dealing with a private company, for example, FTX, they do not have to adhere to the Constitution. There is no such thing as free speech or privacy. And that also goes for a lot of firms. So the regulation is all going to be centered around trying to bring the USD central bank digital currency into existence. And I'm thinking that whatever they say about centralized finance, and Sam in particular, that's going to be a way, way down the line. It is really not a priority for them. So the biggest gainers out of this news are the YouTube streamers who are getting lots of views and clicks to their video channels to give you basically inane news. I'm very sorry for everybody who's lost their money on FTX and through Alameda, but you're not getting any of it back. Centralized finance is a cancer in the cryptocurrency world, and it does need to be regulated. For those of us who are advocating and involved in the DeFi world, of course, a totally different story. Pzen was designed to cut out the middleman, which is what SBF is. He was the middleman that you were trusting with your funds by depositing with him on the FTX exchange. But let me just show you what the new digital economy should look like, I'd like to take the opportunity to just show you a very quick video that explains exactly what the opportunity that Pzen is.
In these tumultuous economic times, it seems harder and harder to get ahead. Even though you have made all the right financial decisions, it's never enough. The problem is not you, it's the system. You see, the system is designed to make the rich richer and the poor poorer. The only solution is to break free from this system. Today, you can join a new, growing economy and finally get ahead. This economy is built around a socially engineered token called Pzen, which is designed to redistribute wealth. The truth is that there is no scarcity of wealth. We just need a better redistribution system. Pzen harnesses the power of the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest. Simply buy and hold Pzen in your wallet, and after each transaction made across the network, your token balance goes up. This is thanks to the pay it forward deduction, which takes 2% of every transaction and distributes it equitably to all Pzen holders. No one is coming to save you. This is the way out, but you need to do the work. You have to get educated. You have to take a leap of faith. You have to join the new economy to secure your financial future. Take control of your finances with Pzen.
So there we have it. That is the opportunity that is Pzen. I do hope you managed to hear some sound of that. If not, I do apologize. And I'll just briefly go over the concept. Pzen is creating the new digital economy, which you can all be part of. And here is how the reset tool actually works. For every transaction, a 2% deduction is applied, the pay it forward deduction. And that applies for a buy, a sell, or a transfer to another wallet. That pool is then distributed proportionally to all Pzen holders, depending on the percentage of the total supply that you hold in your wallet. There is no staking, there is no lockup. It just works. You're just interacting with code. And so to give you an example, let's say that you hold 1 million Pzen. Transaction takes place and you end up with 1,250,000 Pzen in your wallet. So for the very next transaction, you now actually have a larger percentage of the total supply, so that the next transaction, you get even more of the 2%. But there is more, as they say, because in the first transaction, some tokens were actually burnt, which means that the total supply decreases, and therefore your percentage of that total increased. And this is how we harness the eighth wonder of the world, compounding interest. But it's compounding rewards on steroids because of the way the code works. And remember, it's completely trustless. You're not dealing with anybody other than code. It's permissionless. It's also self-custodial in that you always maintain control of your own tokens through the wallet. MetaMask is a wallet that you can use. And of course, you should be controlling that with your private keys with a hardware device such as a ledger or a Trezor. So look, we're going to leave the world of SBF, FTX, Alameda, and all centralized finance to themselves, because decentralized only one way forward for this, and that is up. With the increased activity and the promotion from the government of digital currencies, everybody is going to have to educate themselves on cryptocurrency. And this is a great thing, because eventually they're going to realize that decentralized finance is the new economy that cannot be stopped. It's totally permissionless, and all you have to do is to get educated. So I'm Conrad Zen, former Bitcoin Foundation member, and now advocate for Pzen. I'm not chasing SBF. I'll leave that to others, but I will enjoy the weather and the fact that the Pzen wallet balances of all you holders out there went up as you listen to this short broadcast. Slanjiva.